Well, for a lot of families, spring break is right around the corner. And while a lot of us feel ready for a vacation, not everything is back on the table just yet.
So how can you rest and recharge safely? And what are some of the trends we're seeing right now? Well, we got some ideas for you this morning. Natalia Sutin from vacation rental management company Vacasa is with us to talk travel trends this spring. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for joining us. Okay, so let's start with really the big question here is, are people traveling for spring break this year?
Yes, they are, and we anticipate a big spring season ahead. What we're seeing with Vacasa is that the volume of new bookings have been hitting record highs in the last 2 months for stays well above what our usual run rate is. This tells us that the people are eager to travel, but they still prefer the spaciousness, privacy, and cleanliness of professionally managed vacation homes.
Yeah, I mean, between, just people getting so antsy to get out there and also the vaccines that we're continuing to see people get, people are probably feeling more confident. You mentioned that, they do want to stay in the privacy of homes. What other travel trends are you seeing for spring break in general?
Yeah, absolutely. We are seeing that waterfront destinations are very popular this season. We recently conducted a study and we heard that nearly 3 out of 5 travelers, 57%, are planning a beach vacation this spring. 25% are heading to the lake. We are also finding that people are sticking to their pods more or less. More than half, 53%, say that they're planning to travel with their spouse or kids, and only 10% are planning to travel with their friends.
Huh, interesting. I know, it's tough right now because the CDC is still recommending, non-essential travel. You try to avoid that, stay home. I think that's why a lot of people are trying to stay away from the airports. And it seems like we're seeing some road tripping. People feel like if they can drive in their car, that it's a little safer.
Absolutely. We are finding that road trip destinations are very, very popular, and they have been for 2020 and this year. What we are finding, however, is that 41% of folks we've surveyed are planning to travel farther than they previously have. And comparing our reservation trends for 2021 so far back to 2020, we are actually seeing a 43% increase in miles traveled versus last year. By comparison, last summer trend was that the distance traveled dropped by 19% across the US. So we're definitely seeing the lengthening of the distance that folks are willing to venture out. However, road trip destinations are still very much more popular.
Yeah, I know in Oregon and Washington, typically it's real common during spring break for a lot of people to head south and go down to Southern California. Is that one of the popular destinations that you're seeing for Oregon and Washington this year?
While we definitely are seeing travel across the US, in Pacific Northwest specifically, we're seeing a lot of travel within 3-hour drive. Oregon and Washington coasts are very popular this spring season. In fact, looking at our reservation history, we're seeing that travel with kids specifically is up 50% from last year for Western Washington. Some very popular spring break destinations are Long Beach, Hood Canal, and San Juan Islands. On the Oregon coast, we're seeing 57% jump in reservation with kids. Now, beach, while wonderful for kids and families to spread out and enjoy the sun and hopefully the sun and the sand, we're also seeing very high occupancy in Rhododendron. That's actually our #1 destination for our Portland and Oregon residents.
Huh, interesting. Trying to get a little bit more snow in, some fun time up on the mountain this season.
Exactly.
Okay. So for anyone who might be feeling like maybe they've gotten vaccinated at this point, or they feel like we've got a handle on things and this is the first time in quite some time that they're feeling like they can take that vacation. Any tips for people who are venturing out for the first time in this pandemic?
2 pieces of advice. 1, book early, and 2, know before you go. For booking early, as I mentioned, we're seeing unprecedented demand for vacation rentals. So the sooner you book, the bigger the choice of houses you can choose across. Second, know before you go. As you mentioned, there are still a lot of regulations and they're changing very quickly. So you definitely want to know how attractions and businesses are operating, and you want to make sure that you plan and pack accordingly. One thing I'll mention is we have a lot of resources and ideas available on our blog at vacasa.com that can help you find the right destination for your next getaway.
Okay, Natalia Sutin from Vacasa, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Good to talk with you.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.